Hey guys, Dirt here, and today we're going to take a look at something a little different. For the first time, I bought a Kotobukiya ArtFX Plus statue, and we're going to take a look at that here today. Let's hop into the photo tent here. You can see this is the new 52 version of Supergirl from Kotobukiya. This is a 1/10 scale pre-painted figure, as it says on the package. And one of the main reasons why I really like Supergirl in the New 52 was because of the artwork in some of those first issues. In the artwork they show here, it's, I know I'm going to butcher this name, but it's Ann Srawar, I believe. He now has signed an exclusive contract with Marvel and is working on Wolverine and the X-Men. But I just really loved his artwork, and it's one reason why I got into the series. So you can see it here printed. It looks really nice. It's got that kind of zip tone to it with the dots like comic book artwork. You've got that Supergirl logo, and then you've got that funky, it's like almost like it's shattered and then rearranged, so certain parts are overlapping and certain parts are broken apart. Just kind of something different, makes it look cool. And the Supergirl symbol, the new stylized version of the New 52. A bunch of stuff in Japanese on the bottom. My light's blinking again. Stupid light, stop blinking. Alright, we have a bunch of stuff in Japanese at the bottom. Let's see, I can read the caution for ages over 14 years. We got a no baby, we got a comic shop locator, UPC. We got an address in California. That's about all I can read on there. And then the Supergirl thing at the top. Now, one thing I want to say is that this packaging is quite different from anything else on the market. Really helps it to stand out. It looks fantastic. If you were just going to display it like this, it is wrapped in plastic on the inside to help keep it safe. But really, I think it looks really good that way. I mean, despite the plastic being there, I kind of wish that plastic wasn't there more than, whatever, if you were going to just display it this way. But even if you just left it in the package and displayed this way, I think it looks pretty good. But regardless, let's go ahead and open this sucker up. And they've got a tab here. We can just kind of pull the tab, pop open the top. And we've got one of these, what I call a plastic coffin, where you've got two pieces of plastic here, keeping the figure stuck inside. There's the base at the bottom, and it feels like it must be taped. There's some tape on here holding the two sides together. Pull those apart. Alright, take out our plastic coffin. We've got a base. Now the base is just a big piece of plastic. It's got a copyright DC Comics on that side, but otherwise there's nothing to it. So you would think, oh wow, that's kind of a useless figure stand, must be, right? Except if you notice here on the bottom of her foot, there is a magnet. So I'm betting if we take her out and we set her on there, sure enough, magnetized. So she stands without any holes, without any pegs. She's going to stand on there. And I can kind of move this around. Yeah, she'll tilt. It's not perfectly weighted, but it's close enough. Now, one thing on a lot of these figures that we try to do when we first take a look at them is figure out where the seams are, where's the articulation, is there like a seam in the elbow, they put a pad on it. How well do they cover it up to make it look like one formless figure? However, if we take a look at Supergirl here, we can see that it's almost impossible to find any sort of seams or any sort of points where the pieces come together. Now, obviously, there's no articulation. This is a statue. This is not an action figure. But obviously, they didn't cast it all in one piece. So you have to kind of guess. You take a look at it and you think, well, I guess there must be some sort of spot here on the leg where it must connect together. Maybe the hand is where there might be a seam there. But, I mean, even if you get up real close and you take a look, you don't really see a seam there. Now we can see kind of a seam going down the side of the leg here. If you look real close, you can see the way the light's hitting it, which, you know, straight on, you're not really going to see. And really, only until that light hits it just right do you really even notice it's there. Even then, you look at the leg on the other side, you don't see a matching seam. And it looks like maybe there might have been one under here, but it's been sanded and smoothed so much that you can't see it at all. The figure itself, I'm guessing it's some sort of maybe a cold cast resin or something that it's made out of, but the cape is plastic. So it's much softer. It has a different feel to it. Considering how the figure looks with this kind of metallic paint on it, having the cape made out of a different material and have it be plastic does make it look different. It does make it stand out. If you had a character, you know, wearing an actual cape, it would of course be made of a different material as the body. And using the two different materials here does make it stand out, and I think that is a nice touch. I think it is good that it is made out of something different. It would probably also be very brittle if it was made out of this same material. Let's take a look at some details like the face here. If you take a look at the face, you can see it's very well sculpted. A lot of times when you have some of these figures that are based off artwork and drawings, you can look at some of the stuff like faces and they look a little funky. They try too hard for it to look like the actual artwork, so it loses something of its own personality, I guess you could say. It doesn't have the ability to have its own look. It has to look too much like the artwork and ends up looking funky. A lot of the Ed McGuinness figures and the Jim Lee type figures, when they make those, tend to do that. Whereas this, you know, she has that Supergirl haircut, but they aren't necessarily trying to make it look like the artwork from the comic. It just looks like the character. And I kind of appreciate that. Even though one of the reasons I started reading Supergirl was because of the artwork, the fact that they're not tied down too deeply to the art and they're trying too hard to recreate that, that's fine with me. Because the end result, I think we've got a pretty good looking figure here. Now, on the top of the head, you can see a seam from the two sides of the head coming together in the hair there. But on the sides, they've done a pretty good job of masking it in with the rest of the folds of the hair here. So, you know, overall, even though you can see that one by looking at it that way, from almost any other angle, it's not really that noticeable. So I'd have to say that that is actually pretty nice. Now, there are a couple other things we could point out about this. Is the suit appropriate for a super character? You know, I don't know. You can have that discussion if you want to with somebody else. I'm not real worried about that right now. The metallic paint, I mean, looks nice. It's supposed to be a type of Kryptonian armor. It's kind of based on these this graduation outfit that she had. Superman had a similar type armor. It's like a ceremonial armor, but at the same time it does have its uses. The metallic paint looks good. And then, you know, details on the face. There is some glitter in the hair, which, I don't know if it really shows up here on camera, but I can see, looking at it in person, that there are just like little flecks of glitter in there. I don't know. I think maybe that may be going a bit too far with the whole, stripper look. A lot of people kind of complain that with the knee-high boots, she kind of had that streetwalker look to it, and maybe adding the glitter was kind of a bad move. But I think overall, this is a very nice-looking figure. Maybe a little smaller than what I had initially expected as part of an Art FX Plus. Like I said, this is the first one I bought. I just knew they were pricey and highly collectible, and I thought this would be a good one to grab. I've always liked the character of Supergirl. Maybe a little bit bigger would have been nice, but overall, it is a very good looking figure. Looks good, a lot of nice detail. And I'm pretty happy, especially with that whole magnetic base that it has. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching. Don't forget you can come to popculturenetwork.com, find all sorts of tour reviews, comic previews, DVD, Blu-ray reviews, all sorts of just weird, wonderful stuff. Don't forget you can go to jointheforums.com, the official forums of the Pop Culture Network, and you can talk to everyone else about your toys and collectibles. You can also find me on Twitter at PCN_dirt. A lot of people ask me questions on Twitter, and it's an easy way for me to respond to all of your questions without them getting lost in my email, stuff like that. You can also leave a voicemail. You call our 24-hour voicemail line. It's area code 217-953-4025. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.